Hello, welcome into another exciting episode of Pete vs. Anxiety. My guest today is an author, speaker, and the host of the Healing Version podcast. Please welcome in the one, the only, Dabora. How you doing today, Dabora?
I am well. I am Pete. I actually go by Dabora.
Dabora.
Is how
I
I
love it too.
Yes.
I love it. So why
I'm
don't you
glad
tell
to
everybody a
be
little
here.
more
Thank you
about...
for having me.
Well, definitely. Yeah, definitely. Tell us a little more about yourself, though.
I am a mother of 5. I am a podcast host. I have a truck and logistics business, as well as recently became a life insurance agent. My podcast, The Healing Version, is surrounded around mental health and helping people heal from traumas or physical things that they've gone through.
That's awesome. So when did you start doing your podcast, though? Is this something that you've always been passionate about?
So I've always been passionate about helping people. For whatever reason, people like to talk to me about their personal, deep, dark secrets. I started the podcast in 2024, but I got the vision at the end of 2023, and I didn't jump right on it because I wanted everything to work out and be, I don't want to say perfect, but I wanted it to be in God's time, and I didn't want to just jump out and just start recording. So I created an entire vision, and I want to make sure everything's professional. So I started in May of 2024 is when my first episode dropped.
Oh, that's so cool. So how many do you have out so far as of today?
As of today, I have 38.
There you
I'm
go.
gonna say 40 because I've been taking breaks in the fall. So I took a break last fall because I am in school as well as a psychology major. And then I'm coming out of a break right now. But yeah, so I got about 40 episodes.
That's not
More
bad.
than that
I did like...
recorded, but out. If you wanted to find it, that's about how many just out there. But I have way more recorded that I have to edit and
Yeah, I
publish.
have about, God, I lost count. Somewhere 200, at least in the first year I did alone, just interviews I did, just because I just jumped fully into the thing. And I just kept getting
Hmm.
addicted by more and more, conversations. And the conversations kept getting more interesting, And mine started in September of 2024, so we are officially a full year now into this thing. We're now into season 2. I have pre-recorded up to December almost. I think we're only a day out of December, basically, at this point, and the show is booking all the way into February right now. I just like, this
Wow,
thing just
that's
exploded.
awesome.
It's been kind of crazy, but it's been interesting at the same time because all the conversations we get into and things like that. So
Hmm.
it's understandable taking breaks because the subject that we're in, it can be a little much for people to handle for a lot. A lot of people I know that do the same thing I do. A lot of them do end up taking breaks because a lot of them, it's a lot for them to handle. I've been lucky to basically make it through as far as I did, and then doing the 200 interviews, I got into it. I was just going for it, and it was just like I just started counting up. I was like, well, I wonder how many episodes I got, and I started counting, and I started hitting triple digits. I'm like, yeah, I think I did a lot here, and it just kept going and going and going. So, but it's
Yeah.
interesting though, because people don't talk about it enough, and when we do, it's like everybody feels like it's so taboo. You know what I mean? It's just weird because it's
Yes.
like it's like going to the doctor normally. Like, everybody goes to the doctor if you're sick. So if you're having problems, you go to this other doctor. You know what I mean? It's just like the same thing, but everybody seems to demonize it for whatever reason. And it was interesting because people I've met on the show, one girl told me she was telling her story, and these people just started attacking her for telling her story, like getting mad at her. I'm like, you're getting mad at somebody because you don't like what they're saying? This is their story. What do you mean? You're telling them they should be in a mental hospital, these other things, it's just crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's one of the things that I stress when it comes to my podcast is that it's a safe place. Like, whatever we talk about, it's a safe place. I'm not here to judge you. I'm not here to tell you that you're wrong or any of that. Will I give you solutions? Yes. Whether you use them or not is up to you. But yeah, to attack somebody for, especially somebody who's speaking out, because that's showing that you have courage to talk about what you've been through. There's not many people that's talking about their traumas or what they're doing to heal or even trying to heal. So many people are afraid of therapy or have this negative look on therapy, which I think is something that is brewed from society and television, and like, oh, if you go to a therapist, that means something's wrong with you. And it's like, whole time you need to be in therapy. And so
No, I agree. I
yes.
think you hit all the right talking points. It's just like that it's the medication thing people get scared of. Like, oh, I don't need to put on medication, and
Mhm.
and all of the kind of stuff, because that's how it used to be. The 90s, they were just throwing stuff at you. Well, we're just gonna give you all this stuff, you know? I had a guest on the other day. She said she was on 17 medications, that they gave her lithium
Oh,
poisoning, and, you know, all these other things, you know, and then the people start hearing these
wow.
things, and then they go, "Oh god, well, I don't wanna go through that too, so I'm not gonna go to therapy because I'm scared," you know,
Yeah.
because I don't want them to judge me like that too, you know, but it gets interesting, trust me, like, you know, you're 40 episodes in, and I'm sure you've had a lot of interesting conversations along the way, but you have a psychology background, though, which is great too, because you better understand a lot of this stuff, you know, and things like that too. Me,
Yeah.
I just haven't I had my own problems, and that's how I started this thing. I stumbled into it.
Mhm.
I looked it up, and when I started researching the demographics of, you know, all the numbers and things that people like, I was like, "Where are the like the normal people just having conversations?" You know. So I was like, "Forget it, let's do it." I posted it out there. In the first like 2 weeks, I had like over 150 responses of people just my inbox. I thought my phone was gonna blow up. That's how bad it was going off at one point. I was like, "Oh God, can you please stop?" You're like watching. You're like, "Could you please quit over there?"
Yeah. Oh, I felt that in the beginning. I was like, "Be careful what you ask for." My goodness.
Right.
I got overwhelmed. I'm like, "I need to shut this down and cut it off." Like, even right now, I have a wait list of, like, over 50
Well, that's
people
good
who's
though. I mean,
waiting
people
to
want to
be
come talk to
interviewed.
you.
Yes, it's awesome, it's amazing. It's just I had to shut down one calendar to start another. One thing I will say is that, and I hope the right person hears this, is like when you're coming on people's shows, like have some type of decency and etiquette. Like you don't get to be have this certain privilege because you have a story. Everybody has a story. So I've had people like be like super rude to me and I'm not interviewing
Wait a
you.
minute, wait a minute.
It's
Somebody
not gonna
had the guts
happen.
to be
I'm
rude
not.
to you on your show? Heck no. I know
Rude,
Dabora ain't
and
like she ain't dealing with
it's
that
been
shit.
people have been rude before they even get on the show, and then rude during. I had this one lady, she was like, "So when are you going to air this? I need to know." Girl, I'm all the way in February right now with my interviews going out, so I don't know. I'll put you at the end of the line since you wanna rush me.
Yeah, exactly. No, I agree. I mean,
Yeah,
if
don't get me wrong,
anybody
I'm a
listening to
really
this, don't
sweet
get
and
it
nice
wrong, you
person.
know,
I
but
just
she's right though. Debora's right. You can't be rude to somebody and expect them to care. Look, this is funny. Okay, so we can talk about this. And I had somebody message me, and he said something about my numbers are low. I don't know what he was referring to. Maybe my YouTube page, which is really low. Which is like, you know, I didn't really
Mhm,
emphasize YouTube too much. I just kind of I'm everywhere. When I say everywhere, I'm YouTube, Rumble, Spotify, down to Pandora Radio now. So I'm like, you got to specify where we're talking about the numbers look
right.
low to you. You know what I mean? Because I get more action on my audio side versus my actual video side, which is fine because you know that's the great thing about it. You can digest it however you want it. But he had the nerve to send me a message and said something to me about it, and I was just like, okay, well this will be a teachable moment. So I cut down to just the part where he says, well, you know, your numbers are low. Something he said something else to me, and I was like, okay, let me. This is a reminder to all you new podcasters out there. When you get a message like this, understand that this is not okay. You don't have to accept these things. And people come on your show to be rude to you. Hell no. Hell no, girl.
No,
You tell them
like,
get the
yeah, I'm like, "You what you're not gonna do is bully me on my platform, like, this is
exactly.
a space that I created, and this is my business, so I'm not gonna be rude back to you. I'm gonna remain professional, but I will not interview you.
Yeah, I'll
I'm
just want
not
to air you.
sorry.
Honestly, just like sorry, I just told you not to shoot
I'm
me.
not. And if I interview you and you're rude afterwards, I won't put your stuff out there. I don't have to. I'm not there's not a requirement for me to publish it because you have a story. I've interviewed so many people who have amazing stories that are amazing people that are not rude. Why would I put your and I don't like the energy.
Exactly.
I'm a energy person. I read energy. I'm big on energy. So if the energy is
Yeah.
wrong, get
I've
on.
canceled interviews like that before because I was like, you know, I just don't feel like our energies are aligning, and people are just like, okay, you know, like, and you know which ones get it, what you're saying to them because they're like, there's just some people I just like people suggest things to me, and I'm just like, I'll read the profile for a bit and decide, like, I'm like, yeah, I'm just not feeling this, and I'll, you know, if somebody reaches out to me, I'll look at it and see, and then it's like, no, I just like I don't feel like we're aligning here because I bet in energy here early on in the first half of the show, and that's when I realized, you know, I'm sensitive to energy. I'm an empath and things like that too. Like, I've done everything though. Like
Mhm.
I've studied, we've got astrology. We did my birth chart reading it live on the air when we were doing it. That was a really interesting one. And I got a really great reference for that one too. And she went through all the houses and we discussed everything and how everything falls in alignment to things like that too. And I've had a lot of great conversations there. We've had some scary fucking moments too, man. When I tell you we had scary moments, we had a guy at the beginning of last year, right at the midpoint of the show, right after New Year's. He came on and was telling me that he basically had suicide ideation, and then he went in to go talk about how that morning he had the gun in his hand, he was sitting at the edge of the bed type thing, and I was just like, "Oh, no." I'm like, I kept it cool, but inside I was freaking out a little bit because it's like you're like, "Oh, no. Like, is this poor guy gonna, do something
Right?
rash?" Right? You know what I mean? Like, you've gotta be kinda constantly thinking that, but at the same time, you learn that at least he's talking to you, especially him being male. The statistics are just not great for us guys.
Mhm.
We're just stubborn as hell. Like, I don't know what to say, man. Like 80% is just like it's too much. Like, how much more do we need before we start talking about this subject? But it's always great to meet other people that are in the same space I am, that have the same passion I do, to try to get people's stories out there. And it's so cool to see. So, have you always been interested in psychology?
Yes, I actually started taking my psychology courses probably about 12 years ago. And then I had
Okay.
my twins, and so I had to stop going to school to raise them. They're 7 now, so I'm like, "Oh, let me go back and get the rest of these credits because 'cause I'm, like, super close to having my bachelor's." So, like, it's probably be a good idea to go
That'd
and
be a good
get the
accomplishment
rest of
too for them
my
to see that, even though,
yeah.
you had kids, you said to stop, you went back and still accomplished it, and that's a great message for them too. It's like, don't ever give up on your future. If you want it, you go back and get it. Even though, the kids could put you back a little bit, it's all right. They're kids. I had twins myself, so,
Mhm.
that's funny as well. So I remember those days, man, kids and everything, and it's just life happens sometimes. But that's
Yeah.
great though. You're still pursuing it, you're close to that bachelor's. Do you have any plans afterwards?
Yeah, so the crazy thing is I was like, "Up, I'm gonna be done. I'm gonna have my bachelor's, boom." And then I just had took this course, Careers of Psychology, and
Mhm.
basically it broke down like the career paths that you can go in. And there's not a lot of jobs that you can get with a bachelor's. A bachelor's is almost equivalent to a high school diploma. So in order to be a mental health counselor, which is the end goal, I have to go back and get a master's. So I'm
Okay.
looking at schools now that I wanna go and get my master's in, counseling.
Well, that's so cool though. I mean, that's pretty cool. So what exactly is that for people that don't know, just maybe give them a little feel for what your end goal is so that.
So the end goal is to have my own private practice where I
Mhm.
can actually talk to people. So I won't be able to like prescribe medications or any of that, but I will at least be able to talk to people about like the things that they're going through and like help them navigate through life, which is pretty much what I'm doing now with people who are close to me or people who just really trust me. I'm doing that for them now. So I'm like, why not do this as a profession? Because I really, really love it. I love podcasting. I'm the
Mhm.
crazy person who loves to edit. Like I get in here and I'm like editing and I'm like, oh, that's so good. It's
You can see
perfect.
you
Like
light up
I
when you talk about
love
it, by the way, Deborah. You
yeah.
light up when you say that too. You can see it. The instant look on your face when you said, "I like to help other people that lit me." You instantly lit up, girl. Let me tell you, you could just see the light, and you could tell it's something you're passionate about. You just can tell. It's that energy thing. You could read the energy in the room with you. It's just like the minute you said that, you lit up like a Christmas tree. I was like, "Ooh, yeah, this is definitely something she's ready for."
Yeah. Yes,
So that's cool, though.
I
I mean,
love helping people. I love when people come to me and it's like when I do my podcast and I have, of course have notes to kind of keep me on track because I do
mhm.
have ADHD. So if I'm not focused, I don't have like a guide, I'll probably just be like going out and be like, "Oh, what was I talking about?" So, but a lot of times, more times than not, a lot of the stuff is off the dome. And so once I'm done, I edit it, I put it out there. I don't remember everything I said. I know I approved it and I like what I said, so that's why I put it out. But it's always rewarding to have people come back and be like, "When you said that, it helps me." Like I had somebody probably like 2 months ago tell me that I saved their life with one of my episodes, and I'm like,
Okay.
"What do you mean?" It was like I was really going through and, like, I was just ready to end it all, and, like, you said something, and I'm like, I don't remember what it was, but I'm like, "Okay, okay, thank you." Like, don't make me cry because 'cause I'm
Yeah, because they come in and telling you
I'm
that
a
you did
crybaby.
something. Well, there's nothing wrong with that at all. Listen, I actually cried for the first time in the show. It was with a woman named Tiff Carson. Let me tell you, girl, I couldn't keep it together. That story was hard to listen to. She was talking to her brother, about his addiction, ended up taking his own life, then finds out that the brother was abused by the dad and the grandfather in the strangest part of the kitchen. And she was wondering why he did the same thing to her, though. He like when he attacked her one time, it was in that same spot. And then she found out the reason was that it was because they had done that to him all them years, and it was just like it was the hardest thing ever to listen to. Some of these stories, it's
What's
just
her
like
name?
Tiff Carson.
Okay, because 'cause I'm
Girl, I
actually
gotta
looking for somebody for my substance abuse episode. Um Yeah, I'm looking for somebody because I wanna talk about, but I don't wanna talk about it by myself because I have a very negative outlook on it, and I don't wanna take that approach because, like, all the people that I know that, like, abuse substance are, like, really mean, and they let stuff happen to the kids, and they're very, like, not caring, and it's a lot of family members. My take on it is that it's hereditary, it's passed down, and, like, so I'm like, I don't really wanna take that approach. I'd rather have people who either experienced it with somebody or experienced it direct to come and talk to me about it.
I've got a few that are like that, that have interesting stories that come into addiction. Jasmine runs a podcast called Everybody's Addicted. She actually has a TV show in Canada too that her podcast airs a weekly in Canada. Her story is really interesting. And there's another guy I mentor. He's a podcaster. He
That
just hit
sounds
his 40th
familiar.
episode named Jay Bush. He runs one called Rock and Recovery. And Jay's story a little bit was that he battled his addictions, battled being in jail. Then he came home one day and found his wife hanging in the closet. But he's doing great things now too. Jay's like really big into that kind of community thing. He was holding space on TikTok and things like that when I first met him. And I was like, hey man, you should do like a podcast. Like you really, trust me, I think he got something here. And ever since then, he's just been taking off with this thing, and all that kind of stuff. And
Awesome.
he's 16 years sober now. So, I definitely got a few references for things like that too. There's another guy named Massimo Riccati. He had invented a thing called the sober method. And I can send you all these profile links anyways too, because
Yes, could you please? And this is not even my interview segment. This is part of I'm doing a series right now, it's family dysfunction series.
Mhm.
And, I'm in the point where we kinda getting down to, like, the issues, and substance abuse, I feel like, is a huge one in my
Yeah.
family. If you have anyone who's also went through, like, child molestation or, like, where they were molested or they experienced or seen, I'm also doing, like, that
Yeah,
as
yeah, I'll
well,
have to check through.
so,
I think I've had a few of
yeah.
those too. I've experienced a lot of things. Over 200 people. I'll have to go through looking for some of them, things like that too. So definitely, addiction's an interesting one
Mhm.
because when it comes to mental health, a lot of times, people ask why the two of them fit together. Because think about it, you self medicate sometimes to fix these issues you're having, versus people that then they become addicted to some of these substances, and some of the other
Mhm.
stuff they use to cure stuff like that is just benzos and all that stuff. Oh my god, those are terrible for
It's
you, but they still
numbing.
it is. It
It's to
destroys your
numb
brain
the
basically to a lot of
emotion and
people
to
too.
not feel it. It's like, okay, so if I do this, if I drink this alcohol and I get, like, really wasted, then I don't have to think about the thing that's really bothering me because 'cause I'm not gonna think about it. If I get high, like, I don't even think about the bad things, and, like, and that's one of the things that I'm, like, really big on is, like, if I'm going through something, because, like, I drink and I
Mhm,
smoke recreational,
mhm.
but if I'm going through something, I won't have a drink, I'm not smoking anything because I need to feel the emotion in order to get through it, and that's something that I'm really big on, and I tell people all the time, like, "If you drink and smoke, like, when you get up, when you wake up with your hangover and your head banging, it's still gonna be there. The problem will still be there. You just prolonging it."
Yeah, or you're just masking it too in some ways as well. You're just kind of trying to forget about it, but it's not going to go away. At the end of the day, it's still there though. And it's all great points. That's I like recreational stuff for that too. For my anxiety, it's better than some of these anxiety medicines. They're there. I tried some,
Yes,
girl. They are
helps me
just
clean.
terrible.
I turn into, like, this maid service of 5 people, and I'm just like, I could just, like, clean the whole house. I'm just like the little Energizer bunny. I'm just yeah, and it definitely helps with the
He
anxiety
says
and
it
just,
keeps
like,
going. It keeps going.
chilling out, yeah.
That's me
Yes.
and caffeine, girl. You should watch me go. Like I've posted some videos before. It's like, yeah, I had a little caffeine this morning. Just start going so fast. I start saying things so quick because I'm originally from the north, from in the Chicagoland area. So I'm here in Texas now. So some of these guys here are like, "Whoa, you gotta slow it down for me for a little bit, man. It's a little too much for us. You gotta kind of slow down a bit, dude." So sometimes I'll just start saying things really quick just to mess with people. And it's just like they're like, "Can you slow down, please?" "No. No, I can't do that for you, sorry," but
Catch up.
right? Catch up with me. You gotta yeah, that's right, catch up. You get your training wheels on and start riding. Here we go. So but that's so cool though. I mean, and how many episodes you planning this season before you take another break? Do you have like a limit you do? Like, okay, I'm gonna do X amount, then I'm gonna take a break and then come back?
So yeah, so basically I map out but I've only done it once because like I said, I started last year and I was just like, you know what? I kind of came up with the stuff as I was going and it
Mhm.
worked out. But for this year, like the end of 2024, I actually sat down and I mapped out the days, the release days and the episodes. And I knew without a shadow of a doubt that I was going to do the family dysfunctional series because it needed to be said, and that is, part of my book that I'm writing. So I'm
Okay,
like, I
well,
need
hold up, hold on.
to
You can't just mention a book now and walk away from it now. What's the book about?
the family is about the family. The book is about family dysfunction.
Okay, and where did
The
you
name
come
of the
up with
book is I Do Not Like My Family.
is this based off your own personal experience with your family?
Yes, it will
Okay,
be
okay.
dedicated to my family, both mother and father
For anybody
side.
who's not watching this video, she is smiling as she says this.
Yes, it will be it's for you guys,
She's
just
gonna
for
she
you.
gonna put underneath like a little subcaption, "The ultimate shade throwing book."
Oh, yes, yeah,
It
and so it's funny though because, like, with my series, like, I've learned to not hold my tongue and not bite
yeah.
it and to actually say what needs to be said because the way we, like, heal for real is when we're honest, and a lot of people want you to talk to them in a way that feels good, and a lot of times you don't need to feel good. I need to make you uncomfortable so that you can change and move. And I like the same thing. I want to be held accountable. So if I'm doing something, like I need you to hold me accountable. I am, when it comes to my book, I'm not holding back. I'm not holding my tongue. I won't mention names. I never mention names. I don't have to though. Cause like with my series, that's what I was getting to. So with my series, like a lot of the things I talk about, I know my family's listening. I know by the views and the listens and the downloads, I know you're listening. So yes, at least you're listening. You may not like it, but you're listening. So I had a family member call me and was like, when you said so and so, was you talking about me? Do you think I was talking about you? Yeah. Well, I was. If you feel like I'm talking about you, then I'm talking about
Like,
you.
if the
If
shoe
the
fits,
shoe
wear it. I
fits,
don't
wear it.
exactly.
Hey, zip it up, get cozy in it, and change. So if that's how you feel, then yep, I was talking about you.
Yeah, I think you have really good points there, though. It's like some people just want you to cookie cutter it or go real like soft kid. What I call it kid glove it is a lot of times what people do. They just go real gentle talk about it instead of just getting straight to it. And a lot of people can't handle that conflict of you being honest with people.
Mhm.
And I think that's the problem with today's society. It's like you can't be honest with people without somebody getting offended. But it's like you said, you want to make them uncomfortable. You want them to understand that, hey, listen, this offended me that you did this thing or this thing that you done had this effect on me. Like I can only imagine the conversation between me and my mom when we get to the point of where she abandoned me when I was 10 comes up because there's going to be a lot of things being said there. And I don't think I'm going to hold back either. It's just going to be just a straight up release of
No,
it's like, because it's like
you
all
get
the
to that
ripple
point of
effects.
boldness. Yes,
You know what I mean?
you
It's
get to
just
that
it's
point of
like
boldness.
because the
Yeah.
ripple effect of things that happened after that is just like I was such an angry individual for so long because, anytime I felt like I got into that situation, I went back to the moment, but I wasn't in the moment. That feeling came back, like my body remembered it, and I got angry about it because it's like you love me, you say I'm you love me as your son, but then you just leave me somewhere, and I'm left alone for an hour by myself waiting for my dad to show up. You knew he was at work, kind of thing. And it gets deep like that too, and it's just like and it's so hard now too because now it's like you get to the point where you're trying to forgive, but it's like this endless wall that just shoots up, and it's like it's hard for me. I think that's the biggest roadblock I have because she tells my brother all the time, "Oh well, mom wants to have a relationship with you," and then it's like, okay, well, where was she when I was 10? So I'm saying like let's go talk about the real situation here. You left me at 10 because
Yeah,
we
they never
argued.
wanna talk about that.
Well, she'll never admit she's wrong. Oh, I know she'll never admit she's wrong. She never will. She never does. That's her thing though too, but she was very abusive too. Like when I say there's one time I do remember I got the kicked out of me. She stomped on me like she was stepping on me like she was putting on a fire intent. And she'll say it never happened, but I remember it because like I remember the moment it happened and everything else,
Mhm.
around it and things like that too. And then all the things she used to do, like she used to demonize my dad, like, oh well, he's such a horrible person, this and that, da 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 da, and it's just like all the things that we shouldn't do as parents that they were doing, and then I thought that was okay. So when me and my ex had a rocky, I started doing these same things, not realizing what I was doing was wrong because I thought this was okay. I'm watching my parents do it. I'm watching them negatively talking about each other the whole time. So, I'm thinking this is
Right.
okay because you guys are teaching me this is cool, and it's not, it's really not. And then when you realize it, it's like now I have to deal with the aftermath of what it is. Like, I can't fully blame them because I'm an adult, I made these choices to continue doing this. I could have chose not to do it, but it wasn't what I chose. So, and it gets interesting too because when you go dig deeper into it, it gets kind of crazy because then I end up with my ex who I had 3 daughters with. She's a narcissist, so she was good though. Okay, she was good. She was one of those
They
covert
usually
types.
are.
She's really good at really, like, playing with the guitar strings or picking at you, get you right. She gets you to do things to make you look bad, and it was horrible because now I'm looking back realizing the things I did was because she got me so irritated or I wasn't because I wasn't sleeping, I was drinking, I was doing drugs, and then I had her adding into everything else on top of it, and then she wasn't home much and I was taking care of the kids and things, it all started piling up, and then it just ended in one big explosion of just me just erupting, and then I look like the bad guy to everybody else because, she was the one causing the problem, and then eventually it came out that she was cheating, and I had started seeing the signs of it, and I was too blind to see what it was, but I had a friend of mine, he had kept pointing it out to me. It's like, "Hey, man, you need to look and see what's going on here, like, open your eyes and look," and it was like, it's so hard because they get you in such control that you don't wanna see anything else. All my family members didn't wanna talk to me. I was not a pleasant person to be around. I'll be the first one to tell you, and a lot of people I have to deal with that too would come back and tell me that they're like, "Yeah, you weren't pleasant at all, man. You were just like it was
Mhm.
horribly around you. You were real negative. You always real, and things like that too." But it's like I could feel it in that one. Now I'll eventually write this book. I'm talking about writing a memoir. I've been talking about it, I'll eventually get around to it. I'm a man generator. I do 20,000 things. So I have all these different projects I do. So but, any idea on the timeline of the book though? Because I'm curious to read this. I'm really interested. The way you lit up about it, I'm
So
like, I wanna read it.
so the estimated release date will be July 21st of 2026, which
Oh,
is
okay,
my birth
okay.
date. This year I birthed my website on my birthday.
Hey, alright.
So I'm like, I just might as well just keep going with the birth date of birthing thing. So the plan is July 21st of
That's awesome.
2026.
I love it. You excited? You
Yes.
ready?
I'm
Are you
excited.
just
I'm
ready for
really
people to start ready
excited.
for the phone calls to come in? She's just like, "I'm sitting waiting for the phone calls." "Oh, look, you're calling me? Oh, what are you calling me about?"
Yeah, I have a lot to say. A lot that I've already said and a lot I have not said.
Of course.
Everybody's probably happy that I'm, like, taking a little break right now, but I made a post on Instagram and I said, "Just because I'm quiet doesn't mean I'm not making noise."
I love it. I love it. I love it. You guys, I'm telling you, if you're not watching this video, this look at her face is priceless, man. She's like, "Oh, don't worry, I got you." That little wink too. I was
Don't
like,
worry about
"Yeah,
it.
I
Better
got you."
cook.
Right? Yes.
Yes, yes,
That's
yes.
awesome. That's awesome. So have you planned out you're like I know you take breaks, so have you planned out what your next segment of topic is gonna be? Is that how you're planning on going forward with it? Is just kinda
Yes. So my next series, I'm kind of going back and forth because the I'm the to end my family dysfunction series because I'm one of those people like if I mention a problem and I talk about an issue that I see, I'm also going to talk about a solution.
mhm,
So the end of my family's dysfunction series is talking about life insurance, financial literacy, generational wealth,
like it.
all the things that we do not talk about and that is taboo because, "Oh, we don't do that. Oh, ain't nobody leaving no money when you die, and, people don't even have life insurance and will have no type of money left for the kids." It's just making GoFundMes and selling plates to bury people. I think it's horrible when you could just pay, like, $20 a month and have life insurance. I kind of want to do a series, like maybe like a 5 to 6 on just like centered around like the financial literacy and just like teaching people like different things about life insurance and those type of things.
Yeah, I don't think enough people know about it. And other people see these commercials, and that's pretty much all it ends at. They're not sure what it is, and and then when you go to figure out what it is, a lot of it's really confusing. So I think that'd
It's
be great
confusing,
from it.
and it's a lot of stuff that we are misinformed on, and
Yeah.
I'm learning that just based off of studying for my life insurance exam, becoming a life insurance agent, and all the reading and stuff that I had to do, and I'm like, "What? This how this policy work? We
Right.
signing up for this?" Like, I on top of wanting to be there and help the community mentally, I need to help them also financially,
Yeah, I
because a
like it.
lot of our hiccups and a lot of the things that we go wrong at is because a lot of us just don't have the money to make different decisions. So I want to also help financially.
Yeah, I
So
think
I'm
that's a
thinking
great
about
idea.
doing like a little mini series just surrounded around that. But I'm definitely, and I've been talking about this for as long as I've been recording, I'm doing a dating series. I have to do a dating series. Like it's a must. And
God, yes.
so I have to do a dating series. Like I need it's gonna be the one-on-one, it's gonna be me by myself. I'm gonna have a panel. It's gonna be a doozy. I have so many people that's like, when are you doing your dating series? I got something to say. And what's funny is
I'm
the
I'm
way
ready to
that
listen to this. I am, trust me. There's some stories I've got for that one.
the way my podcast was actually birthed was I used to be on this streaming platform where I did this show and it was called Relationship Talk with Miss Debo.
Yeah.
And people would come and ask me stuff like, "I'm in a situation with my man and he doing this, and this." And I'm like, "You the side piece. You not the main squeeze,
Right.
Bookie." And I would have to tell people stuff like that, and I'm just like and I'm sitting back and I'm listening to all this stuff, and everything is negative. Everybody's blaming the other person. Nobody's taking accountability for their actions. And I was like, "You know what? We don't need to be talking about dating. We need to be talking about healing because a lot of the things that you are setting yourself up for, the cycle of people that you're dealing with has a lot to do with your mental and the fact that you haven't healed from your past relationships, your childhood traumas. And so you're deflecting it onto your new people. And you're picking the wrong people because that's what you're attracted to because that's all you know."
I think it's gonna be like the new Love Line. Remember that show back in the day when you're on the radio, you can listen to Dr. Drew and Adam Carell sit there and talk to these people about things. I feel like that's what we're gonna get. We're gonna get the new version of it though.
They'll be hanging up on me, and they were like, "Man,
Like,
you
oh
is not
hell
saying what
no.
I wanted you to say. You did not tell me I'm not gonna tickle your ears and make you feel good, especially when a lot of times a lot of the stuff be us. It be
Hmm.
us. Like I can tell you I can give you a laundry list of all the things that my ex did that had me messed up. Like, I can point out everything that the other person wronged me on, but what about when you get that mirror and you take it and you turn it around and you put it on yourself
Hmm.
and then you have to reflect and say, "Well, what did I do wrong?
Exactly.
Where did I go wrong? What was up with my communication? Was I emotionally available? All the things that I expected of this other person, did I bring it to the table?"
I think those are all
And if the
really great
answer is
questions.
no, we got a conversation to have.
Well,
So,
a lot of people don't admit they're wrong though. Remember that now. Like that's one of my biggest
yeah,
faults too. It's like it's hard for me to admit I'm wrong. Like I don't like to be wrong at all. I always have to be right. And I think it's kind of got that from my mom a little bit too, because she always had to win the arguments. So it's like I got to learn how to kind of tone it down sometimes. My wife, she sometimes she likes to call me out on shit. So, but that's what I love about her though. She calls me out on shit. She'll throw
accountability,
it in my
yeah.
face and be like, "Hey, you're doing these things. You can't keep doing these things. And like you said, it's like, what did I do wrong in the relationship? Oh, I could tell you what I did wrong. Like now I look at it, I could tell you before, you wouldn't hear me admit
Yeah.
anything. I'd be that person calling you like, listen, Debo, I got to tell you, girl, and just start telling you like, oh, she did this and this, but then you're going to ask me what I do. Oh, I didn't do nothing wrong. What do you mean? Like I would have
I
totally
didn't do
deflected.
anything.
Exactly.
Yeah, you can't see. Yeah, yeah. I'm definitely one of the I'm like, I am not ready to be in a relationship. I'm like, why? Because I know with communicating, I shut down. And then I realized part of my shutting down had to do with my ex and the fact that he used to dismiss everything. So I was like, I'm not talking to you. And then when I went into talking to other men, it was like, I don't want to talk. And I had to realize, "Oh, this is not okay, this is unhealthy." Ignoring people is the equivalent to abuse. Like, no, like, have a conversation. So now they don't like me. I call myself the ego destroyer because Imma say what I gotta say, and I'm not holding back, and if it taints your ego, it makes you feel
Let's
like
be
this much
honest
of a
though, like
man, I
some of
don't
them
care.
need it. Some of them really need that knockdown.
They do, especially the married men that's out here trying to deal with single women.
Jesus, yeah. That's the
Yeah, this
crazy part
dating
to
series
me.
is gonna be fun.
It
I
sounds
still
like
won't
it.
mention names. I'm thinking about, like, doing a, they're going to have names, though. It's gonna be like, "The Married Whore,"
Yeah.
the "The Horrible Communicator."
Yes, I love it. I think it's great. I think it's a great idea. Exactly how you should do it. Is describe what their worst flaw was, and things like that too,
The worst lie.
And they're gonna be like, "Are you talking
Yep,
about
and that's
me?"
how
Well, was
they're
I? I don't know. The way they're gonna come at you, you're gonna be like, "Well, was I? Does that fit? Does that resonate
"Does
with
it
you in some
fit?
way? Then
Do you
possibly
think I
could
was
be
talking
you."
about you?" The habitual liar. I had a guy come up with this elaborate story of how he got into this shootout. I had told him I didn't wanna talk to him anymore. I was like, "I'm done. I don't think this is gonna work." And so I, like, cut off the communication, and then all of a sudden, his cousin, who I've never talked to a day in my life, comes and just telling me, "Oh, he was in this shootout. He's in the hospital. We don't know if he's okay." And coming to find out it was all a lie. You went through all of that for me to talk to you again, and I still didn't talk to you. I was actually disgusted at that point because at first, at least I was just like, "All right, I'm cool. Some can part ways. Ain't no bad blood." Now there's bad blood because what? You made up a lie about almost losing your life for me to talk back to you? Blocked on everything. Blocked on everything. Cause what?
Well, we gotta think about the
No.
social media is putting out these ideals to people that they have to be like it's all about these certain things. You see all these people and all these girls that always have to look, oh, so I gotta get all these expensive things done. And if you don't have expensive things, you don't matter in life. When it's not. It's those are materialistic people, and it's scary because the youth, you're telling them the wrong thing, you're teaching them the wrong things, like and then it's those there's that one guy, he comes and he's like he always interviews people and he's talking about them and then you find out that one of them wasn't faithful. I was like, those videos crack me up because it's like other people just sit there act like they do the wrong. What do you mean? I didn't mean to do that. What do you mean? Baby, come back, come back. This is like they're chasing. Like, what? I'm like, huh? And the sad part
Yeah,
is
the
a lot
internet
of
is a
times they'll
dangerous
say
place.
yes though. But the crazy thing is the toxic relationships, the people will say yes. They're like, oh yeah, I'll go back to that. It's like, why? Why do you keep putting yourself in this constant state of toxicity and just
It's
like
the
not
worth. It's what they feel their worth is. But, like, a lot of the issue with social media is that people aren't putting their real life situations. They're only showing you the good. So now you're sitting there comparing yourself, and now you're like, "Oh, so and so got it better than me." Whole time they don't. They're just showing the good. They're not showing you that they sleep on an air mattress. Not saying there's anything wrong with an
no,
air
no, I get
mattress,
you
but
there.
they will put out all of these good things and like, "Oh, I'm just living the best life." And you can never heal like that until you get serious with yourself. And I feel like it creates like an anxiety and a mental thing, and it's definitely not good for the people who coming up.
And it
And
gives a lot
all
of
the
false narrative
lies,
too,
like
you
the
know?
I just seen a story where this girl, it ain't came out yet, but I know she lying. So basically she's saying that she picked up a baby. I've never heard of Uber like taking kids from place to place. So
Yeah.
long story short, she picked up this baby and was supposed to drop the baby off. Well, the mom or whoever was supposed to get the baby never came, so she ended up having to take the baby home and take care of the baby overnight. Whole time the baby got her exact face. That's your baby. So now you done went viral for making up this story for some attention. But that's just the reality in the world that we live in because people will pump up the negativity in the stories like that, but you'll have a 8-year-old who has already earned a college degree because they're just this Einstein and they're just so incredibly smart, and they will have maybe like 2K shares, 5,000 likes, but a story like this reached millions, and I really hate it. I hate it so
It's
much.
annoying though, it is, because some of those stories you're like, "Really? Is this what you're all excited about?" Or the one girl, what was her name? She used to be Pokey Princess or something. I followed her in the beginning, and I remember watching part of her story. Her thing was that she was hooking up with her neighbors or whatever. But, okay, she's a single girl, do whatever she wants, cool, but she's putting this out on the internet. Then it came out that she had left her kid in the house and went to go party somewhere where this kid was at home by himself, And I'm just like, "What the hell is wrong with you?" Then she came back with that video, where she was making fun of the whole situation. It's like, "Really? Like, do you not feel any shame in what you're doing? Like, you abandoned this kid. It's all over the news. It's factual. It's not like somebody made this up and then you're coming back like, "Oh, I'm back
Mhm.
now." It's like, you should have just stayed gone, honestly. Like after that, you would have thought you would have got some common sense, but I guess not, you know?
No.
And it's
No.
scary though, because it's like, you're abandoning this kid, and then it's like you don't understand the trauma you're doing to this poor kid. Oh, because you want to go fucking party. It's like, well, okay, well, but you're a parent. That should be your first responsibility. Partying should be the second thing you go do. Like, when these kids are old enough to go out on their
Partying should be
own.
the 10th thing. You know how many other things or how many ways to make money out here? You talking about partying? I don't even like going out because I'm scared. They shooting and it's all type of crazy stuff. And then the dating
Yeah,
scene is
yeah, the
so I've
dating scene is
seen at
scary.
least 3 women this week be killed at the hands of their lover. Like yeah, I'm good. I am good.
She's like, I'm gonna
I'm
stay
good.
single. My boyfriend is gonna be the gun that's right next to my pillow, maybe the knife in my pocket. I don't know. You know what?
Yes.
That's the side piece of the knife, you
Hey,
know? Like I got a regular, good little combo meal here instead of things going here. But no, I agree. Listen, the dating scene is scary, man. When I was dating
it's
before I met
so
my
scary.
wife, there was one of them that was just really weird. She was like, "Oh, well, I'll cosplay with whatever you want." I'm like, "Huh?" And then the other one comes in with, "Well, I wanna check your phone, I wanna look at everything you're doing and all these other things." I'm like, "What?
Yeah,
Wait, what? We
see, and
just
that's
met,
my thing, and,
what?"
like, I cannot I just I if I can't trust a person, I can't even entertain them or try to be in a relationship with them because, like, if I don't trust you, like, what are we doing if I don't trust you? Like, what are we
Exactly.
doing? Because now my anxiety levels are high. I'm checking phones and doing no, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. But when we were talking about social media, I wanted to say something about this girl. Like, you know how they do like the come and spend a day with me and they
Mhm.
spend all this money at Target and they go home. And I love watching them like put their food and stuff away and how neat it is and how like, I don't know, it's something with the videos. But it's this one girl, she was like really big and she was like, oh, and I could buy whatever I want. Come to find out she's been stealing from Target. They was
Yeah,
just
I
building
remember
a
that one,
case.
yep.
I'm like, "Okay, I hope people look at this and, like, don't, like, really, like, idolize these people and just, like, worship them." Like, see that some of these people are just they really don't have it the way that they are making it appear.
No, I
It's
agree.
okay to go out and get it, you know, the honest way. Don't let these people fool you into thinking that
Yeah,
they got it together, and then you find out they don't. It's like, "Oh, I looked up to you.
surprisingly for
You're
social media, the
trash."
one person that really interests me is Jeffree Star. Like, he's just so real. Like, if you ever go watch when he's live or whatever, these people just start saying things to me. He's like, "So what? I identified as anything other than Jeffree Star. What are you talking about?" And then they all try to change the narrative on him, and he just shuts it down. He's like, "No, I don't think so. I'm Jeffree Star. Okay, I don't know who else you think I am. I identifying as she, he, or whatever. I'm Jeffree Star." I'm like, "Jeffree, tell him, dude.
Mhm.
Tell him in the back. They can't hear you far in the back there, bud. You know what I'm saying?" Like, he was always interesting to see, though. And then he did an interview on the Dumb Blonde podcast where him and Bunny were talking, and the two of them were getting it, talking about these things. And he's just so real. Like, he's just the same person you heard there. It's the same person you see in these lives. But a lot of times, like, there was a person I knew that had a situation like that. There was a lot of going on in the back scene that nobody knew what was going on, and like you could just
Mhm.
tell something wasn't right. And like you're like, "Hey, are you good?" And she's like, "I'm good." No, you're not. You could tell. You could look at the look on your face and see that you're not okay. Like, and then another one, she just kind of make these weird, like you ask her a question or something, and then she kind of make this weird lip motion, and I'm like, yeah, something's wrong. Like, you could just tell that little tick, like you had a sense something wasn't right. Like, "Hey, are you doing okay?" And she's like, "Oh no, I'm doing fine." No, you're not. You could tell the minute you answered it, how you said it, and the mannerisms you were making, those little small ticks. I'm like, yeah, there's something not right there. And then it turned out she was really struggling, and I'm like, it's like, I told y'all from the beginning there's something is wrong with her. There's something just wrong. Not to point out the fact there's something wrong, but it's just like I was genuinely concerned because I'm like, yo, there's something not right with her. We need to get her some help or something because she is struggling hardcore. And then she came out
Yeah.
and started telling people that, and I was like, hey man, I'm not one here to boast. I'm just letting y'all know. It's like these are the things I noticed, and like I was just trying to help them understand. Like, hey, listen, you notice these things. Like, you could just sense something wasn't right. And like I said, it was that energy thing. I can sense people's energy. Like when I meet people in the first like 5 minutes, I could tell whether I like somebody or don't like somebody. Like if I don't like you, it gets this kind of like ugh, kind of ick feeling. Like I don't know, like something about you I'm not really digging,
Yeah.
you know. But then I also have this weird thing where people come tell me like the strangest stories possible. I had a guy tell me, what was it? The craziest thing ever come up to me said that he lost his son 5 minutes prior to him walking through the door of where I work. And I was like, holy crap. I said, dude, you okay? Like, you doing all right? No, man, I'm not. He's like, but you really want to know? I'm like, sure, man. What's up? Talk to me. You know, I'll listen. What's up? And he goes, yeah, I just lost my son about 5 minutes ago. And he was explaining the incident was that something to do with he had a gun on mounted on the wall and it fell off. And then, you know, it was a whole crazy situation. And I'm like, and
A
but
loaded gun mounted on a wall is crazy.
you know what I'm saying? Like that's the part I couldn't figure out either. It's like, huh? Wait a minute, what? Huh?
But no, it's totally relatable. I have strangers who tell me stuff and, like, I've had people tell me things and I'm like, "God, why? I coulda went the rest of my life
You haven't
without
had your
knowing
birth
that."
chart read, have you? It may
But
be in your chart.
no.
It might be in your chart.
Oh my
Mine's in my
goodness.
chart too.
I like people tell me stuff, like, I've had men tell me, like, how they were molested by, like, people in their family, and they're like, "I have never told nobody this." I'm like, "Okay, okay." And I
Listen,
and then I'm
it's
not
it's
talking
the
1
it's
or
the
2
energy you give
men.
off, though. It's the energy you give off, man. I feel so relaxed with you. Like I feel like I could tell you things, you know, but you just give off that vibe, you know. Maybe that's what the energy you're putting out there is people just feel like so calm around you and understand, you know, like, you know, it's just that sense of like you attract the people you want and then you basically push away the others that don't. People that don't stay in your life don't like the energy you're giving off, which is understandable for a lot of people that
Yeah,
understand
it's
that.
yeah, yeah, I completely understand, and it's I'm probably one of the most understanding, I get it,
Yeah.
I'm relatable, I'm not gonna judge you. I mean, unless you come tell me something like you did something to a kid or something, then now
Yeah.
we talking
Yeah.
about
No, I
something
agree with
different.
you there.
But, like, your personal experiences, I'm not judging you for that, and we can talk about it. It's
Yeah.
just I've been like, I've had people tell me some of the strangest things, and I'm like,
Yep.
did you mean to tell me that? I'm like, "Okay." But, like, when it comes to one of the things that sticks out to me the most is how many men who have disclosed that they were molested as a child.
That's
I could
interesting
think
though.
of
Like
5 men who disclosed this, and at least 3 of them was like, "I've never told anybody else this." One said that he did tell, like, people, like his mom and stuff, but it was her sister, so she was just like, "Oh, she ain't doing that to you. Stop lying." I'm like,
you know, it's a funny thing though,
so
is most people think only females are mostly molested and things like that, but when
yes.
it's the boys that are then it's like, "Oh, no, you're just a boy, it's just whatever." No, it's not.
You're supposed to sit there and enjoy it. "What? You got some?" That's how they treat the boys. No, no, that was a predator who took advantage of a child.
Yeah,
No, and
exactly.
that's another thing that I'm, like, going back and forth with is that I think I wanna do a series on child molestation as well because I was gonna do 1 episode, but I'm like, "I don't think this is a 1 episode topic.
No.
This is a I think I'm gonna my first episode will be, like, me laying the foundation and basically explaining what it is and
Mhm.
stuff and do some statistics. Because what I have been, I'm not going to say enjoying, but what I have liked is that there are these men who are coming out and telling how they pick the kids. And I'm loving that they're doing that because it's giving us
Yeah,
leverage.
give you an
So
insight and
this
everything,
one
yeah.
guy said that I've heard at least 2 different predators say that they picked the child based on their family dynamics, especially their mom. They don't have a dad in the house. The mom seems like she has a lot going on. She not really paying attention to the children. She don't really care. He said so he would like be like, "Oh, you can come stay with me for the night." He said he also look at like the dynamics of their friends. So if they have friends who are kind of like in the same situations, then it's easier to get him to get his friends to be on board as well. And I'm just sitting there like, I can slap you and punch on your face and probably do even worser things to you, but thank you so much for sitting here and just, like, saying that. But both predators said that they picked the kids based on the family dynamic.
I find that very interesting though, but I think it's interesting too, honestly, for that because I've always found that like the psychological profiles of people, like different killers and things, you get the insight of what they're like, and you just watch how like they have no remorse for what they're doing, and then they tell you these things, you know. So I think it's gonna be an interesting series, honestly. I think it's really interesting. It sounds like you're getting a lot of good factual stuff you can use to start it off, and then just invite people on and use that knowledge, to better explain some stuff for other people to understand. And it's hard for a lot of people to talk about things. I've had some in the show that experienced that, and it was somebody close to her too, and I was like, that's
It
horrible. And
usually
and then
is.
and then the person lives close to a school zone. I was like, no, not in a
They're not
school. Like,
supposed to. They're not supposed to. Yeah, it's usually someone really close. So about, I'm gonna say probably about 15 years ago, I worked in a children's hospital, and I worked in the ER. And every day that I worked, there was at least, I'm gonna say at the lowest, it would be at least 2 kids that was there because somebody molested them. And when you looked at their chart, 100% of the time, it was somebody in the family or it just was really, really close that was a like family
ain't that scary though? It's
every
like you can't
single
trust your own family
time.
these days because the likelihood of something happening to your kids or if something would happen to you, you know what I mean? It's just now you gotta sit there and wonder, like, what's really going on with some of these people and when some of the weird things,
Yes.
what
You
I
gotta
mean,
be
the
extra
insight that you have.
protective over the babies. That is another subject that I know I'm gonna ruffle some family feathers on because I've had at least 2 family members since I've started my podcast that come to me because I talk about bring up the child molestation a lot in my, podcast because I'm poking at them like, "I see you and I'm coming for you." And I've had at least 2 family members come to me and tell me about a family member that molested them. At least 2. So and I know it's more. I know it's
Yeah.
more.
Oh, yeah.
So, I'm like, that's not a one episode, type of show. That's gonna have to be a series. So, I'm gonna probably push my dating series back to next summer. I gotta get all this important stuff out the way, and then I mean, not that my dating life is
Oh,
not
listen, though, we gotta
important,
we got you
but
gotta let me know when you start doing the dating series for sure. I'm interested to
I
hear. I
definitely
will come
will.
tell you all some
Go
stories. You know
subscribe.
what I'm
You have
saying?
to
Oh, I
subscribe to
definitely
my
will.
website
I
because I'm
will.
gonna put that's how I'm gonna start putting all my newsletters for, like, what's upcoming and looking for, guests. Because I love doing the interviews, and I like that it's opened up this space where I get to meet all these new people,
Mhm.
but I love my regular show. I love, like, just having a conversation, breaking stuff down. I'm big on definitions. The simplest words I break down because I'm like, it's probably somebody that just don't know or maybe
Exactly.
have a misunderstanding of what this means. So let me lay the foundation so that you are on board and know what I'm talking about with this conversation. I love having conversations by myself. That's another thing with dating. I've had men tell me, "Well, you didn't communicate." That's because I'm carrying the conversation.
Mhm.
I can sit on my podcast and have a 1-hour conversation alone. Do you think I have a problem communicating? But I'm not carrying a conversation. I'm not gonna be, well, how was your day? Well, what did you eat today? Well, do you wanna go out on a date? You better step it up, bruh. You better step it up because if you don't, we just not gonna be having a conversation. I'll do some carrying, but it gotta be reciprocated. So
I love it. I love it. So, Deborah, I got 2 questions for you, okay? We're at the part of the show before we start wrapping up. I want to ask you 2 things, okay? The first one is actually I stole from somebody else I know. She has a podcast called The Shit That Goes On Her Head. I love you, by the way, Gretchen, but I'm stealing this one permanently. If your mental health had a song, what would that song be?
if my mental health had a song, this is good.
I
It
like
would
this one.
be I might have to steal this, Gretchen. It is a song, it's, Wale,
Mhm.
and the song goes, it says, "Fuck you, leave me alone. Fuck you, leave me." So,
I
yeah,
love it. Okay.
definitely, yep,
Okay. All right. I like it. I like it. Like, listen, always get
yeah.
interesting answers. I have a school community I started, and I asked that question a bunch of people in there, and the answers you're getting are just completely random things. I'm like, oh, this is interesting. Okay. All right. I see where y'all are coming from here. All right. So but yeah, if you want to use it, it's definitely a fun one to ask people questions because you get interesting answers every single time. So the next question, the most important reason why I even started this podcast is if you could break the stigma about mental health. I'm talking about anything that just like sticks out to you, just like you just want to keep hitting the buttons, like just stop, please just stop. What would it be?
It would be that people don't know the difference between mental health and mental illness. I see a lot of people that are talking about mental illness, but they refer to it as mental health. And that really grinds my gears because what are you talking about? Like, mental health is Mental health is like a report card. Either you can have an A plus or you can have an F. And if you have an F, it's more than likely a mental illness. It's the best way I can explain it. But your mental health is a totality. Everybody has mental health, just like you have physical health. Everybody does not necessarily have mental illness. They may have like a little bit. I think everybody might have some type of trauma or something. But it is a scale. It's on a scale. It can be a little bit, so you can be like A plus, A minus, a B. But when it's mental health, it is the totality of your mental state. And I just want people to understand that. And also, I have another one. People thinking that just because you go to therapy, something's wrong with you.
Exactly.
No, it's not. It doesn't mean that something's wrong with you. It actually means that you're taking initiative to make sure that everything is good.
I agree. I love it. Thank you so much for being here. Do you want to tell everybody where they can find you? So where
So
could
if
they
you ever
go
want
to
to know about
find
the
you?
dating series, if you want to come on as a guest, go to thehealingversion.com. That is THEVE. What am I saying? THEHEALINGVERSION, thehealingversion.com. You can connect to all of the ways that the U podcast is aired. Also, I'm on Instagram at The Healing Version, Facebook, The Healing Version. I also have a TikTok now,
Uh-oh,
and that
she's
is
on TikTok,
also The
guys. Here we
Healing
go.
Version.
Blow her
And
up.
YouTube. If you
Yep.
wanna see my beautiful face, I have videos on YouTube, and that is also The Healing Version. So everything is The Healing Version, but if you go to the website, you can connect to everything because I have everything there.
Right. Well, thank you so much for being here. This was a great time.
Thank you for having me.
I am looking forward to that dating series. I'm telling you, girl, like I can just
I will make
imagine
sure
the
I
stories.
hit you up when I do
Definitely let me
the
know because
dating series. I'm gonna put you in my notes to
definitely,
to
heck yeah.
personally. Yes.
I love it. I love it.
It's
And with
gonna
that
it's
being said, guys, we're going to wrap up this episode of Pete First Anxiety. Well, thank you so much, as always, for being here. I appreciate you coming. We're looking forward to seeing what happens with it later on. I will definitely plug your website down below for everybody to go check it out. Guys, go blow her up, man. She's awesome. Like you just heard for the half hour, we were just having a conversation, man. She's something else. So yeah, I love it. I'm going to be telling everybody about her. I'm like, yo, y'all got to have her. You got to hear what this is, what she's planning here.
Yep. I don't hold back, y'all. Imma say what I
Right.
gotta say. It is what it is.
Well, we're gonna wrap this episode of Pete First Anxiety, guys. You know where to find me on Pete First Anxiety. I'm on X all the way down to TikTok. I'm on Spotify all the way down to Pandora Radio. And as I always say, it costs nothing, absolutely nothing to be kind to somebody. One kind act you could do could save someone's life, or hell, you can make their day. I'm Pete First Anxiety, signing off saying, don't ask how your day is today. Say, hey, how's your mental health today?